Hello and welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. Friday's here and the weekend is, I think the saying goes, it says itself. Now, of course, I am your host, Mokyle Tinubu. It's Friday, like I mentioned, and we're getting ready for a weekend that is packed and going to be overstuffed with football because let's face it, the season is almost over in Europe. And there's plenty of stuff that we're hearing, like Man United have already made a €100 million bid for Victor Osimhen. The player is already by far the most valued African in the world. He was bought for 71 million euros. And his market value, of course, is about 120. There is no guarantee that the deal will go through, but at 100 million, it's very hard for any team to turn that down. We'll come back to that story later. We'll begin with some Europa League football. West Ham manager David Moyes spoke about his frustration that his squad did not show enough quality in their Europa League semi-final match against Eintracht Frankfurt. He bemoaned the absence of their usual precision in set pieces, failing to materialize. West Ham now take a 2-1 deficit to Germany to face an informed team that knocked out Barcelona in the quarterfinal. West Ham United have already exceeded any reasonable and impartial expectations for their European sojourn. Of course, there's always much to be learned in your first foray into European football, and Tottenham gained a serious lesson in Champions League football when they went to the Champions League in 2005 for the first time under Harry Redknapp. Now, West Ham United could still come back, but Eintracht play a kind of football that West Ham United do not see every week. The likes of the top 6 teams are much used to this. But even the likes of Barcelona suffered the humiliation of falling out against a team that most seasons do not even finish in the top 5 teams in Germany. Now, Manchester United manager Ralf Rangnick says he will remain at the club as a consultant next season amid reports he's to become the new national team coach of Austria. The German wouldn't directly address the rumors about the job after their 1-1 Premier League draw with Chelsea, but did confirm he'll remain at Old Trafford to help new coach Erik ten Hag. United equalized in the second half through Cristiano Ronaldo's moments after the dominant visitors had taken the lead through Marcos Alonso. Even Man United fans must admit their team were extremely lucky on the night. The fact is, bar the grace of Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest goal scorer in the history of the sport, Manchester United would not even have had a sniff, a smell, a taste of scoring a goal in that match, and definitely they would not have walked away with the result. They have 2 games in hand on Arsenal, and Arsenal have 2 games in hand on them and are 5 points clear in 4th place. Now, even if Arsenal lose the next 2 games, drop 6 points, Manchester United will still have to claw back to level up and potentially finish in the top 4 position. It seems to me like the journey to Europe this season, at best, Manchester United can only make do with potentially Europa League football and more realistically, Conference League football. It's yet to be seen whether either of those 2 options will even be available for Erik ten Hag next season. And in fact, it might be a better option for him to have the whole week to prepare for the next match. No European football in between. Just focus, get the boys on playing the kind of football that he needs them to play, because there's going to, make no mistake, there is going to be a mass clear out. There are already players who are leaving because of the end of their contracts. Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata, and likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. His position in the team is not safe, and plenty of players like Telles might just follow. Even a reassessment of Bruno Fernandes might come into play because he has just not had a good season. The only player who has had, well, I should say the only two players who have had worthy seasons of their reputation is Cristiano Ronaldo and David De Gea. Where are the rest of the Man United players? And if the likes of Rashford are continuing to struggle for confidence, as many have indicated, then even he next season might not get into the first team, which means there's a likelihood that 5 or 6, maybe even more players are going to freshly come into the Manchester United team. Erik ten Hag is going to have to embed those players and then work out a tactic that takes the best use of Ronaldo while limiting the fact that his weakness of being older, slower, and unable to work as hard as the rest of the youngsters is not going to hold back the team. That means it might just benefit them to be out of Europe. We'll see. Now, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has signed a 2-year contract extension that will keep him at Anfield until 2026, the Premier League club said on Thursday, April 28th. Klopp, whose previous contract was due to expire in 2024, has helped Liverpool win the Champions League and Premier League titles since arriving in Merseyside in 2015. There's a freshness about us as a club still, and this energizes me, Klopp said in a statement. There are so many words I could use to describe how I am feeling about this news. Delighted, humbled, blessed, privileged, and excited would be a start. The Liverpool manager has already spent 6.5 years at the club, and at the end of this fresh new extension, we'll just be wrapping up just over 10 years at the club. A decade is a long time to be doing anything, especially in the world of fast-paced football. The truth is, by the time he's done, he would have ushered in a completely new team, a completely new 11 of footballers in Marseille's side, and that means he'll basically be walking away, walking into the sunset, handing over the keys to a Ferrari that he built from the ground up, and giving it over to the next young, talented manager that the scouting team at Liverpool managed to find. He might just end up being the greatest coach, the greatest manager Liverpool have ever had. Already 2 Champions League finals under his belt, 1 Champions League trophy, 1 Premier League trophy, the first of this current version of league football trophies that Liverpool have ever won. And in truth, he might still just this season win the Champions League title, potentially still gazump Manchester City and win the Premier League just on the last day. And if that were to happen, I think he could walk away right now, even after just signing the new contract, and the fans would say thank you and God bless. Now, defending champion Aryna Sabalenka made a swift exit from this year's Madrid Open as she lost her opening match to Amanda Anisimova. The 20-year-old American won 6-2, 3-6, 6-4 to extend her unbeaten record against the world number 4. Anisimova nearly stumbled after blowing a 4-1 lead in the final set before winning 8 of the last 10 points to progress into round 2, where she'll face Petra Martic. I wonder what happened with Sabalenka there. She was completely outmatched. Now, in our other tennis story, top seed Felix Auger-Aliassime fought from a set down to beat Spaniard Carlos Taberner and book his spot in the Estoril Open quarters on Thursday, April 28th. The Canadian world number 10 overcame a slow start to bag a 1-6, 6-2, 6-2 victory in 1 hour and 55 minutes. In the earlier matches, Argentine's Sebastian Baez downed third seed Marin Cilic of Croatia 1-6, 6-1, 6-4 to set up a quarter-final with veteran Frenchman Richard Gasquet, who saw off Bolivia's Hugo Dellien 7-6, 5, 6-2. I know we all love tennis, but we brought you a story recently about Nadal setting up a university. It's to do with teaching the practicalities of sports and how it can help our health and education for young people in general, not just aspiring athletes. I want to leave you with a commentary. There's so much athletes offer us, aside from the fact that they are role models for our children and they entertain and sometimes inspire us with their charity work. The fact is, when players like Nadal coming to the end of their careers are thinking about what's next, and the way forward for them is to build something that will stand a much greater test of time than simply hitting a ball around with a racket for a decade or two. Those are the kinds of efforts as a society we must celebrate even more, and not only expect it from athletes and our chosen role models, but everyone who is involved in sports. Thank you for watching Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. No matter where you're watching us from, as I always say, thank you for choosing this as your destination for all of your sports news needs. Remember, life is never boring with some sports. Have a wonderful day.